Byron Nelson Classic this week in Dallas-Fort Worth. We played golf a little bit during our extended lives. Holes in one, John Henry.
A total of 10. Well, man, I've also slept with Scarlett Johansson, too.
I'm going to take that as a no.
That's
Gil?
a no.
Putt one day I had 3.
Byron Nelson Classic
3 in
this
one
week
day.
in Dallas-Fort
I've been
Worth.
playing
We played
golf since I
a
was
little
7
bit
years
during
old,
our-
and I have this many.
golf. PressBox DFW Live. It is Richie Witt alongside Gil Leberton, John Henry, venerable sports writers in Dallas-Fort Worth. Episode 10, which is 10 more holes in one that I actually have, episodes that have holes in one. Have you ever played in a group that had a hole in one?
No.
I haven't either. You?
You're kidding?
No,
kind of
but-
guys I play with, no.
No, but
We're too busy
never
looking
seen
for our
one.
ball.
I have a couple of buddies who have one, and they can't quit talking about it. And
Yeah.
I did play in a tournament which somebody won a Mercedes.
But you didn't see it.
I didn't see it.
Do we think they even exist?
Sure.
Oh, okay.
Sure, there's video footage.
I thought it was
Stuff
doctored.
like
I've
that.
never seen it. I'm going to go play today and see if I can get one. All right, the best 2 words in all of sports.
Payday.
Payday's a good one, John.
Pay dirt.
Winning season?
Winning season, free beer. What about Game 7? Because that's what we have tonight. Stars and Blues, and what's been a crazy series, a weird series. Let's go back to Game 6 of this series on Sunday afternoon, actually, in Dallas. And I thought Ben Bishop was dead. Didn't you?
Yeah, I thought, yeah.
I mean-
stop the game.
Can we roll
But
that
see-
again, Ziggy? This was Game 6 of Stars and Blues. It's a 2-1 game at this time. And Bishop gets hit with this slap shot at Mach 7. And I'm not a hockey guy, but I really thought he got hit in the neck and might be dead.
I did too.
I mean, look at that. That looks like I'm hitting the trachea and I can't breathe. And they just keep playing. They
Yeah,
score
I'm
over
not-
his
I'm not
dead
sure what
body.
you could do.
What's funny is that the officials' explanation of this was, it didn't look like it was anything serious.
Yeah.
So we
I'm
kept
like,
playing.
what constitutes serious in hockey? And look at that guy.
A guy could have.
He got hit with a dart like Will Ferrell in old
Yeah,
school, was like about to fall in the pool.
Right.
Like,
right?
got hit
It
with
looked
a
like Lee
shotgun.
Oswald to me,
I
1963.
knew Oswald was going to come up when I saw that. It's
So
back and
based-
to the right, wasn't it?
Based upon that
Yes.
visual evidence, they said, play on.
I mean,
That's
yeah,
ridiculous.
the referees said he looked like he was seriously injured. His mask was still on. I'm like, he couldn't breathe. He wasn't worried about taking his mask off.
worried of
But
his
another proof
trachea
that hockey
had-
is pretty dadgum tough. All right, so the Stars lose that game. Now they've got to do something that they've never done in their history, something that people say is the hardest thing to do in sports, and has happened in Dallas-Fort Worth sports teams one time in all of, I've been playing sports here since the 60s. One time as a DFW team won a Game 7 on the road. Toughest
I was
thing to
there.
do.
Were you there? I was there. It was San Antonio.
I was there, yeah.
It was San Antonio.
It was San Antonio. We'll get to that. So, all-time Game 7s on the road, Dallas-Fort Worth teams, Mavericks, Stars, and Rangers, 1 and 4. And there's a caveat to that. Like the Cowboys, I guess every playoff game is a Game 7, right? Because it's one and done.
Right.
But the last time, and the Cowboys are 9-16 all-time on the road in the playoffs. They've lost 8 in a row all of a sudden on the road in the playoffs. Haven't won a road playoff game since 1992 NFC Championship game.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
So that's how hard it is to win on the road. Even harder to win a Game 7 on the road. The Stars have tried it one time, and this was 2007. This looks like 1907. Look at this footage, John Henry. This is something you bought in an estate sale. So this was a 2-1 game against Vancouver. The Canucks get a couple of empty net goals late, win it 4-1. That's the only time the Stars have played a Game 7 on the road, so they're 0-1. I hate to bring this up, but let's talk about the Rangers. Anybody remember this
seven.
Game
I
7
recall
on the
it
road?
well.
We're going to see it now?
Game 6 was the
soon.
game, right?
This is
Right.
too soon.
Too
to
soon
be
forever,
sure.
right? Game 6, of course, was the iconic game when they were one strike away 2 different times. But there was a Game 7 the next night.
There was, and they took a lead.
And they took a lead 2-0, and it was 2-2 in the 5th, and then all hell breaks loose. Wash calls for Scott Feldman to come in. We remember Scott Feldman. He walks in this run. It's 3-2 here in the 5th. This was all hands on deck. It's Game 7. I mean, starters are pitching. There's no tomorrow. That just looked like a strike, didn't it? But
They got
no.
the corner to me.
Yep, that's 4-2, and then Wash goes, I got a better idea. Let me bring in C.J. Wilson. He'll
yeah.
snuff this rally.
Balls
Here
of
comes
steel.
C.J. What do you think he does with his first pitch? Go ahead and take a guess.
Let's see. Hops it back to the bricks.
Worse, John. What's he doing his first pitch?
I think he throws it behind him.
I like. They got a guy. They got a guy.
In the middle of that is what's about to happen to C.J. Wilson.
They got a
Too
guy
bad he
hitting
didn't throw it
that's got a tattoo in his neck.
Doink.
And oh god.
First pitch, and now it's 5-2, and that deteriorates into 6-2, and
Bartender drink, please.
bartender drink, and then we go to the 9th inning, and I was there in Busch Stadium, which was just, you just knew the Rangers weren't going to win.
No,
And
after
David
Game
Murphy
6.
with the last out, and then, the biggest collapse in all of Dallas-Fort Worth sports is complete, losing that Game 6 and then Game 7. So that's the Rangers' only Game 7 on the road. Any specific memories about Game 7, you guys?
No.
It was really Game 6, wasn't it?
Right,
After that, it's just a blur.
Right.
Like if you ask a guy on the street, the Rangers 2011 World Series, they say, "Oh, they lost it in Game 6." No, they still had a chance, but
Baseball players. We've all been to the clubhouse, and they have this. There's always tomorrow mentality.
Yep.
It doesn't matter what happens.
brush it off. There's a game tomorrow.
Yeah,
Yep.
it's like, well, it's just one game. We got tomorrow. I'm gonna come back. We're gonna do some damage tomorrow, and all of a sudden they're at the absolute final day of the baseball season.
Yep.
There is no tomorrow.
Yep.
And I remember walking pregame into that clubhouse, and it felt different. And I think Wash tried, but I think it was there was a little too much false bravado that I was hearing.
Yeah.
And
I don't
and they
blame
went out
them,
and
though.
played.
For what happened, you're one strike away, two different occasions.
Devastating.
Yeah.
Devastating. I don't even know how again, you still have a chance to win the World Series, but I didn't think they were going to win that game. And when they took a 2-0 lead, I was stunned.
No
but
chance.
then I still thought they got to be up 20-0 to win this
Yeah,
game.
but it
because
wasn't
there's just-
happening.
Yeah, there's just no way. So Stars haven't won a Game 7 on the road. Rangers haven't won a Game 7 on the road. Mavericks have. Let's go back to May 22nd, 2006.
This was stunning.
This was stunning because look at this. They're down 3. This is Game 7. Dirk with probably one of the most memorable drives in Mavs history. Goes in
And the
over
foul.
Ginobili. For Dirk, that constitutes a dunk, right?
That's right.
It was
Yes,
close as
it
you
was.
can get.
Close enough.
He took
That's
it
Bruce
strong.
Bowen, his old nemesis, 1, and then Ginobili comes in to foul him. That's 2. Back when Dirk had hair and still had a little bit of hops, and he makes the free throw.
Did he still have his original factory teeth at that
In
time?
fact, no,
that
factory
was
teeth were long gone.
2003.
Yeah,
They were
long
long
gone.
gone.
Yeah. So Dirk in that game, 37 points, 15 rebounds, that iconic dunk to force overtime, and they won 119 and 111. That's it. That's what it takes for a DFW team to win a Game 7 on the road, something the Stars are going to try to do tonight. Do the Stars have a chance?
I
we've
think
proven
so.
how hard it is, but
It is difficult. The odds even out a little bit in hockey, and
why is
especially in
that?
this
Why is
series-
home ice not a big deal?
especially in this series where home ice really hadn't meant anything.
So, Stars are 4-2 on the road in the playoffs. The Blues are 5-1 on the road. Is home ice not a big deal?
I guess not. But the teams are very even.
True.
We've seen that, and everybody thought it would go 6 or 7,
Yeah.
and here we are at Game 7.
So I wrote this story on PressBox DFW on Monday about the Game 7s, and I had a guy hit me up and go, "Richie, I can't believe you were at a Game 7. You're dissing a DFW team," and I'm like, and he's like, "The Sidekicks."
Oh, that's
1987
right. That's
in the
right.
Tacoma Dome. I was
That's
there.
right.
I'm like,
That's right.
apologize? Does that even count?
Sure it does.
Does it?
No, I've got
If I
a good.
Back
say
in the
a
day-
DFW team has only won one Game 7, do I count the sidekicks as 2?
I have a buddy who's a soccer nut,
Yes.
and he
My
is a
apologies.
firm believer that there should be statues outside of American Airlines Center
Tattoo.
of Dirk,
No.
Madonna,
Yes.
and Tattoo.
No. No. Not only no, but he didn't play in AAC. Reunion
truth.
Arena was that.
True.
They didn't. They topped out in the 90s, right?
I remember asking a real soccer nut
Yeah.
to give me a scouting report on Tattoo. Never heard of him. And, Tattoo's a great guy. I don't,
Sure.
he's.
He was the greatest
he-
indoor soccer player ever.
and-
We can say that.
But I mean, he was great in the community and everything,
Yeah.
and friends with the media and whatever. But
no, he's
was-
known in Sao Paulo, Brazil, where he's from,
Right.
and he's known in Reunion Arena, which is not here anymore. So that's it.
I
That's
think
about-
I think soccer nut is redundancy.
but that was fun though.
True.
That
It
was fun.
I did totally forget about it because
Oh,
they
yeah.
did. I mean, it was televised
I was-
live.
I
There
was
a
watching it.
parade.
I watched it.
It was Game
Oh.
7 in the Tacoma Dome. It was like a triple overtime game. It was
remember.
amazingly exciting.
Indoor soccer.
Yeah. May it rest in peace. All right, the greatest Game 7, any sport, all time. You guys have one that comes off the top of your head?
The one that comes off the top of my head, I can't remember if it was greater or not, was Celtics and Lakers in '84.
That was that. All those.
All
series
those,
were good.
yes, they
Even
were.
'85, they played
they
the
were.
same thing.
Well, the Cubs.
That was Cubs Indians just a
Yeah,
couple years ago, right?
right.
Because of
Yeah.
the Cubs, and it was a great game.
Yeah.
But it doesn't top this one.
Okay.
1960, the World Series.
Oh yeah.
Yankees, Pirates. There's Hall of Famers everywhere. Roberto Clemente, Dick Groat. You got Yogis there, and Mantle and Maris and Whitey Ford. Game set. So the Yankees were winning games like 20-2, and the Pirates would come back and win a game 3-2. It was that kind of series. Game 7, Forbes Field. This is the only game. This is weird. The only game in baseball playoff history where neither team struck out.
Wow.
How about that?
Wow.
Did a little research for you. Also, the only game in which Mickey Mantle said he cried afterwards. So the Pirates led this game. This is Game 7. The Pirates led 4-0. Then they fell
Oh, it was
behind
crazy
7-4. Then the Pirates score 5 in the 8th to go up 9-7. Yankees score 2 in the 9th to tie it. So it's 9-9. Bottom of the 9th. Ralph Terry's on the mound, and the first hitter is a light-hitting defensive specialist named Bill Mazeroski, and this is the greatest home run
Oh, we
ever
got
hit.
footage of it. How
Yeah,
about
I took
this?
this footage.
This looks better than that.
This looks better than the Stars Canuck. He hits the ball here to the onto the Six
heck
Flags.
is that?
Look at the, I was gonna say, this
Mini
is
mine
outside of that.
train out there. Has there ever been a more memorable home run? I mean, this is up. This is 60 years ago. All of a sudden,
I'm somewhat sad. I'm somewhat sad to say that I actually listened to this
did
game
you really?
in the classroom on a little transistor radio with an earphone. Sister, can't even remember which one. Sister Eusebia let us listen
Really?
to the game there because she knew that, as long as we had our little earphone in, we could listen to it. But we had to tell everybody what was
I mean,
happening.
I don't mean this as any offense. But they really had transistor radios with earpieces in 1960.
Yes,
I mean,
they did.
Does that surprise you?
Yes, they did.
I
Come
mean,
on.
I didn't know. I really didn't.
we
It's a
had
revolutionary time.
We had indoor plumbing too.
That I heard rumors about. But I didn't know you could do that.
So, what was it like to personally know Marconi, Gil?
So were you rooting or just listening?
Oh, I was rooting for the Pirates.
You were.
Big time.
So you were happy when Mazeroski.
Oh yeah, the Yankees. The 3 games that the Yankees won in that series were blowouts.
Yeah, absolutely.
They
Yep.
they were clearly the dominant team, and for the Pirates to come back and win that game, and I just remember Yogi Berra was playing first base in that game.
That's really weird.
I don't know why I remember that, but he was.
Are you sure Sister Mazeroski didn't slip you something to affect
No,
your
that
memory?
was and she also got the boys in the class a subscription to Sporting News, and we would have reading day one day a week.
Great a class was that?
Yeah, we would get the new Sporting News, unwrap it, and pass it around.
Wow.
Different pieces of it.
Anything
Catholic
to encourage,
school, baby.
Anything to encourage Gil to read. She was like,
That's right. That's right. It was-
Yeah, something. Get that
Started-
transistor.
couldn't-
get that
couldn't handle the classics, but
get that UFO
by
out
golly,
of his ear.
I
He's
could read the
listening to.
box score.
So okay, one more thing. Did everybody have transistor radios? Well, that was
No.
a thing. Was that like a Walkman? Like a,
No, we were a wealthy family. No,
I was about to say. I mean,
it's not true.
I don't remember. I don't remember that at all. That's
Not
like
true.
A
I have
gadget.
no idea why I had
You
it.
were like Michael J. Fox in Back to the Future with this. Like,
Sort
here's
of.
a transistor radio.
Exactly.
1960. All right, there's some Game 7 sports. So the Stars win tonight, yes or no?
Yes.
I'm going to go yes as
You sound
well.
like you're hoping. He sounds like he knows, though.
Well, I think the Bishop will bounce back. I'm just going with the trend of the series.
Yeah.
And,
Yeah.
and I know it's Game 7. It's hard to win on the road, but I'm going with the trend of the series.
Ben Bishop is the best player the Stars have. He apparently, after getting shot in the trachea, apparently he's going to play tonight,
Yeah.
which, how are you not shell-shocked? I mean, the psychology of that is amazing. But Bishop in goal, Stars win tonight. If they do, it'll be the only second time in Dallas-Fort Worth
I think
history
they
for a
need to
road
take
Game
that
7.
girl from the other day and put her behind the Blues.
Stay tuned to that because the girl from behind the glass will
Is she make an appearance
She'll be
later?
joining us later.
Oh.
Read us every day at PressBoxDFW.com. Watch or listen to us right here, PressBox DFW Live, as 7,000 of you have done in the last week. So our little venture is growing. Next up on PressBox DFW Live, don't die yet unless you visited these 100 sports places.
Okay, pregame meal. I borrowed an old idea and updated it. This is something that I did back, 2007. First did it for the Fort Worth newspaper back then.
Do we not mention them by their name anymore? We just call them the Fort Worth newspaper.
I can't remember. They
Remember it.
They don't even exist.
True. They're the FortWorthOnline.com.
Hey, McClatchy, the Night King coming for you. Coming for you, baby.
Personal to McClatchy.
And
Hey, where are we today, real quick?
this is the home of the great granddaddy itself,
That is a great.
Pasadena,
God, I love that.
California.
picture.
The mountains, you can kind of see them in the background.
Actually,
the
if you're
San
in the
Gabriel Mountain.
Yeah, the press box is
Yeah.
up to the left. That's where
Yeah.
we sit. And if you do that, you're looking right at the mountains. And if you go out the press box to the right, you can see the ocean. Other than that, it sucks.
And in
Yeah.
January, sometimes those mountains have like a little bit of snow
do.
on top.
Yep.
It's the most gorgeous setting. I remember when TCU got to go there in 2010, the 2011 game. When they went out for their first time to see the stadium,
Yeah.
they had painted the end zone purple and it had TCU on it. And,
Surreal.
And they a few of them got down on their knees and were rubbing their hands on the top.
Right.
And it was such a neat
Wow.
feeling. I mean, just a neat sight to see that. It is the great granddaddy.
It is.
And what do you know? That comes up in my list. A woman back in 2003, a woman named Patricia Schultz did a mega bestseller, wrote a mega bestseller called 1,000 Places to See Before You Die.
Sounds tiring. 1,000
Yeah,
places?
and it had
Sounds expensive.
it had plenty of great
that's like-
places.
2 years of your life every day.
Easily. You're right. Yeah.
Well, she had a lot of weird things in there, like yodeling with the Swiss and I remember one of them
They go to
was
Switzerland?
hot tubbing in Budapest, and I went, oh, I don't think so.
Did not know that was a verb.
But-
okay.
I like your list better.
But
Gil.
it made me
I can tell you that right now.
it made me think that the sports fan needs a list of
Yeah.
somebody to do a bucket list
Genius.
for 'em.
Good idea.
And so I came up with 100 things back then.
That's not 1,000.
And,
Okay,
no,
100 I
not
can
1,000.
Yeah, 100 I might be able to
100
do.
might be able to
Not
handle.
1,000. And some of these are on the list because I've had some experience and seen them, and I thought they should be included. And some of them I was able to come up with by sheer research. So I wrote about it this morning on PressBoxDFW.com.
I have not read it yet, but I'm going to read that. Let me
Okay.
see. Like everybody else, we're going to read it and put check marks by what we've done.
Okay.
And hope we have like 10
Right.
maybe. Yeah.
As you can see this in this headline here, this young lady has strawberries and cream for you.
Oh, yeah.
Which is part of the attraction of Wimbledon, which
Yep.
is very high on the list.
Good.
We'll see.
I'm one for
Number
one.
one. What do you think? Number one thing. This is both a place and an event. Something you need to see before you die. Should be number one in your book. All the places are either a place or an event, or usually both.
A place.
Number
or an
one,
event
number
for
one
him.
thing, easily.
Yours has got to be Olympics.
The Super
somehow.
Bowl. No,
Oh.
the Super Bowl.
I thought it might be the Olympics
Me
too.
too.
No.
I would think the opening ceremonies at the Olympics would be your number one.
No.
I think you need to redo your list.
Yeah, but I'm thinking
101.
no. But what I'm
Is
thinking
that on
here,
there, Olympics
Sure it
ceremony?
is.
Okay.
Sure it
All
is.
right, good.
But what I base this upon the fact that as I said, the excitement and the raw energy inside the stadium
Yep.
and throughout the city are just there's nothing quite like it. And
It's really Super Bowl week. I mean, you really need to go for the whole
yeah,
build up.
But I like here's the kind of stuff you see at the halftime show. Actually, the halftime show is more suited for people at home than it is when you're in the
Right.
stadium,
yeah,
because you don't hear it all that well,
and you can't see it that well.
Yeah, and unless you've got some super duper horse racing size binoculars,
Yep.
you don't really see it that well.
So I was at the Janet Jackson Super Bowl in Houston.
Yeah,
I'm
I
sure
was
you
sitting
were.
right next to you.
Did you even know that her boob popped
No,
out? I had no
no,
idea.
no.
And that was, I mean, social
about
media
it
was
later.
around, but it wasn't like it is now. So the next day I was like, what? I missed what? I was in
Right.
the stadium.
So Gil, if you'd made this list in 1976, let's say, where would the Super Bowl be on that list?
in '76,
Or 80, or somewhere in there. It wouldn't probably be number one.
not
would it?
yet,
Right.
not yet,
Because
No.
it's grown.
because it's grown to
Yeah. In 60, he would have been in the sisters class with his transistor radio.
Right.
Been
Right.
Number one.
right. The 100 million people watch the
Yeah.
Super Bowl.
It is the
and-
biggest event.
And,
well,
and you sit there and you
World
think,
Cup would argue with us.
and you think, you think of the millions of people and virtually all of your friends that would trade places
Had
with
that
you
thought, yeah.
to be there.
Absolutely.
Number two, the Masters, Augusta National.
Dang it.
I moved it up on the list. I said it's every golfer's mecca, which it is. And were it not a golf course, Augusta National would be one of America's most beautiful national parks. It's also probably the hardest ticket in sports. I think it's a harder ticket
Really?
than the Super Bowl, because there's a lot of corporate people that get Super Bowl tickets,
Yeah.
and you can usually, they're the ones that are usually out scalping them or whatever. But the Masters has a secret waiting list,
Yeah.
and people have grown up and died and never moved up more than 5 spots on
Wow.
that secret waiting list.
Been to the Masters, John?
I've never been to the Masters. Now, I know somebody who this year who was on that lottery, and
Mm-hmm.
not only did she win 2 tickets, she won them for Sunday. First time.
Oh,
ever.
wow.
Yeah.
So tell me if I've been to the Masters. I've told this story on the show
Yeah,
before. where
you
we
went to
visited.
the-
I went to the practice round. I got rained out. So I was there. I got to look through the fence, but they never opened the gate. So have I been to the Masters?
And did you get to go to the souvenir shop?
Yes.
Get a pimento sandwich.
Well, that's good.
Nope.
No.
I feel like I'm like half a check mark.
Yeah.
But I still want to go back. That's a good one.
This is sinful to say, but when you're part of the media, not only do you have this tremendous media center to do your work, unsurpassed in sport, and they just got a new one. The other one, the last one, was pretty darn good. Now they even have a new one, but you have somewhat the run of the grounds with your media credential. So each day after you do your morning work, you walk over to the clubhouse, the famous clubhouse, and you can have lunch in the grill that you're liable to see golfers or CBS announcers.
Just
You
rub
know?
elbows with
Yeah,
everybody.
we've had lunch with Vern Lundquist and
Wow.
and everybody, and Lance Barrow, our good friend,
Yep.
and it's neat. It's just it's prettier than even TV makes it.
Thanks for rubbing that in.
But yeah,
All right, what else on your list? I wanna
let's
see
go
if I
back.
got-
We'll go as a group.
Yeah, let's do our
sometime.
show
Rent a
there
house.
live next year. Think they would let us do it from like the 10th tee or at Amen Corner?
Well, you're friends
Start
with
setting
Romo,
up.
aren't you?
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll see.
He'll be
Okay.
playing there next year.
Sure.
Okay, we're going to run out of time here. Number 3, now we get to the Summer Olympics. And, any event in the Olympics is memorable and hugely important, but you got to see an event, I think, in the big stadium with the Olympic cauldron lit and 80,000 people there. Preferably, you see the 100 meters finals
Yeah.
where they crown the world's fastest man. The Olympics is just full of drama and pageantry, and I know that's not everybody's cup of tea. That's why I didn't put it number one. But I think it's very seductive. Richie, you've been, and you know how
It's amazing. It's amazing how important the Olympics are to the rest of the world and to Americans. Is just kind of like, oh, there's something to watch on TV.
Well, that's Mark Cuban. He's not crazy about it. But
Well,
yeah,
I mean,
there's a lot of them.
There's fans that
Right.
if the soccer team gets a draw, gets a point, they cry in the streets. They're so
Right.
happy,
Oh, yeah.
and we're just like, hey, we want a gold medal. I mean,
Right.
it's just it means so much more to the countries that have less going for them.
The opening ceremonies would be something I'd really want to
That's
see.
number 5 on my list. I put the opening ceremonies separately. This is a shot from the opening ceremonies in Beijing, where the guy, kind of flew along the edge to light the torch, and opening ceremonies are
Nothing
are
is going to
just-
beat when we were there in Atlanta with Ali, though. That was
Yeah,
the
that was a
coolest.
special
I mean,
moment.
that was
a
awesome.
special moment.
Yep.
You forget the fact that that part of the opening ceremony included a bunch of pickup trucks doing donuts in the
You're
middle
right.
of
I
the field.
did forget that. Did
Yeah.
it really?
Well, they weren't doing donuts, but they were like
South.
pickup trucks, right?
The Olympics in the South.
Let's forget that one.
And interspersed in there, number 4 was I had a World Series game, any World Series game. I think fortunately, a lot of people here could check that one off their
Yep.
their list. But really, any World Series game, you get to the stadium, you look around, you see the bunting, and it really, since a lot of us grew up with baseball in some fashion, it really should bring back a lot of old feelings, a lot of old memories. Let me just hop around here because I don't want this to take forever. I've got the World Cup right after that, number 6. Wimbledon, number 7.
Good.
Did I pronounce that right? And I said, even with the retractable roof now on center court, Wimbledon's, what do you notice? There's Federer and Nadal
Yep.
playing. But
I saw Federer and Roddick play their final there in 2004, and I sat, basically right behind the dolls where the media is.
yeah.
The other end from
Have
the
you
Royal
seen
box. but
Have you seen
amazing.
it since they added the roof?
Have not. I've seen it. I haven't been to it.
It loses a little something
sure.
because, but it's at least now you don't have all those multiple
Oh, they
weather
had to,
delays.
yeah.
and
It is amazing, though.
they really
It's-
did a good job. See, it doesn't look that bad. See how they still have the ivy on the side of center court, and this I think is one of the real neat things that people don't realize there, or they forget. All these side courts, all the many side courts that where the early round matches are being played, you can roam around there,
walk
and you're close enough to get hit with a
Oh, yeah.
with a ball.
You can hear everything.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And it's just really it's a great atmosphere. The what's it called? What's the area where they sell all the stuff? I can't remember what they call it now. But that in
Oh,
itself is
SW19.
no. When they
I don't know what they call
you
it.
stroll the grounds, you get the strawberries and cream or whatever.
What people don't realize is most people think, oh, Wimbledon, that's just the name of a tournament that's in London. It's not in London. It's
a town.
But it's just it's not a village.
You can't the tube. The subway doesn't
Yeah.
even stop there.
Nope.
You got to get off in the town and walk.
No, it's a long walk.
about 3/4 of a mile
Yeah.
to get to the All
But
England Club.
Yeah, it's very quaint. It's
And-
nothing like we have anything here in the United States.
Now,
Very
Richie,
cool.
as a tennis player, where would that rank on your list?
It's my least favorite.
Well,
I like going to it, but grass tennis is just not.
okay, gotcha.
It's
You're
all
more-
serve
you're a
and
play
volley.
guy.
And that's on my bucket list to go to Roland Garros.
I've got Roland Garros on here. I'm
What's the
trying to
one?
think of
What's the one you haven't done before you die on your list, or have you done all that? Oh, 100.
Oh, I've got no, I haven't done.
What's the
all
one
of
that
them.
you want? The one you want to
I wouldn't mind seeing St. Andrews.
do? Ooh, that'd be good. I like to
I
play
wouldn't.
that. Maybe we can go.
I don't think. No.
Get us
At
on
St.
there, and
Andrews-
we'll not get a hole in one on that.
When I
course, too.
checked,
Right.
when I checked yesterday, a round of 18 at St. Andrews equates to $431.97.
Yeah, but we know people. All right, where's
We
one,
have friends.
Where's the one place you haven't been before you die?
It's got to be opening ceremonies
For
at the
Olympics?
Olympics.
Yeah. Mine's French Open. Or
Look,
maybe
check
go
out
back
the
to
whole
Masters.
list.
Yep.
send us some email. Send me some email.
Yep. Hit all 100 by next week and then email us with it.
Yeah.
Right.
Letters to the editor.
If I'm gonna go on
Let
Facebook
us know.
and try to engage some people and you tell me how many you've seen and I don't know, we'll
a
might
good
be able
list.
to we'll figure out a discount subscription
Yeah.
for whoever.
Maybe we'll give away a trip to one of those, or we'll give away.
No, we're not.
Or maybe we'll give away a subscription. Maybe we'll do
might
that
be able
instead.
to-
Okay.
I like that.
It was either
Now
or.
you're
We'll send
thinking-
you to Wimbledon.
We did a little table
It's-
talk, and now we know we're not.
It's
gonna
it's
do
my
it.
job to tap the brakes here. Thank God.
All right. Well, it's my job to tell you that next up, do we still care about John football?
Guys, on Double Dribble this week, I've got two subjects that I know will trigger a Niagara Falls routine out of Gil.
He's going to slowly out-turn.
Yeah, I turn. And the first is a Johnny Manziel update.
Oh, good.
Is he still? Okay, I can't wait. I haven't. What if the Cowboys would have drafted him?
What
All right, go ahead.
What a disaster.
Yeah, that's for another day.
What another disaster it would have been. Do you know that he's changed his name?
Only,
Yeah, I've read some of
only
it.
when you told me he's now John.
He is now John.
He's John Football.
He's now John
That
Football.
doesn't have the same ring to it.
It his JFF name. He was dropping to Johnny.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
So I mean, I could handle Bruce Jenner being Caitlyn Jenner a lot easier than Johnny Football now
That
being
doesn't
John
make any
Football.
sense, but it's funny.
John Football. I think he means John Manziel.
Well, he does mean John Manziel, but
John Q Football.
but Johnny Football,
Okay.
or Johnny Manziel. Sorry, he's. I loved him for one thing and one thing only: his proximity to the character of Little Johnny, the jokester Little Johnny, who's always the smart ass in the classroom.
Oh,
and all that stuff.
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Proverbial little guy.
Proverbial little
Yeah.
Johnny. Johnny Manziel reminded me of that character.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
He is not John Manziel.
No.
He's Johnny.
You got to earn John. Okay, so is he going to play in the XFL? Man, is he still? Does he have a football career still?
I don't
I mean,
I'll
he
bet
played
so.
in the Canadian League and got cut,
kicked out,
kicked out.
banned, and no one
He'll
knows
probably-
I think he's done.
He'll probably try to play, and somebody will give him a chance. But
But if he's just John, he's losing
why.
even his draw.
It's not the same.
Like, come see John, quarterback our team, and the next you're like, what?
Right.
All right, what's he up to?
Well, he's had a bad year, as you mentioned.
He had a bad decade.
He has. This year's been particularly bad. Been kicked out of the CFL. He goes to the AAF
Yes.
in Memphis. They fold,
Because of him.
probably.
No, it wasn't because of him.
And he's also has an estranged wife. I think they might be divorced.
Didn't
as
know
well.
he was
I
married.
didn't even know he was married either until I read this. And this is
Is that a
Actually-
picture of him assaulting her from behind?
that is actually Bree TC or Ticey. I'm probably pronouncing her name wrong, but she's an Instagram model.
Okay.
Which to me is like the lowest rung of models. I mean, we're not talking
That just,
Christy
yeah, it just
Brinkley.
means you're a self model.
so people can get paid for being an Instagram model.
Oh, yeah.
Yes. Oh yeah. She's got 370,000 followers. I
You
know.
might want to put.
She's got 370,000
You might want to make
followers.
number 101 on your list. Be an
We might-
Instagram model.
Right.
Get
We
on
need,
that.
we need to find out what the secret is.
So
I don't think we own it. I think it's more like that.
sometime earlier this year, yeah, exactly. Sometime earlier this year, Bree left Johnny.
I didn't even know they got married. Did you?
Yeah, I read something about
You did?
that, but I didn't.
hadn't. And she left him, and she went on Instagram and said one of the reasons she left him was because he had trouble with wedding vows the way we understand them in Western civilization. We had
Wow.
difficulty.
So
with
he cheated on her.
Well, possibly. She has character flaws of her own, which we'll find out about here in a second.
Well,
but
number one, she's an
Ooh.
Instagram model.
Let's
but
go straight
ahead.
to that.
Yeah.
Well, for this past weekend, Johnny feeling bad, and we can see why he feels bad about this, just seeing those pictures. But he sent out an Instagram message saying HBDB. Now that's the way the millennials say happy birthday. HBD.
Oh, okay.
HB, what was it?
Man.
HB.
HBD, happy birthday, Bree.
Gotcha.
There would be no life for me without you having come into mine.
Okay.
Cue the violins.
That sounds like a guy named John definitely wrote that.
I'm not sure about it. Well, next week we'll have to talk about that.
Yeah.
Through everything we've overcome, I just want to say I'm sorry for not being there more and doing what I can to make you truly happy. You deserve it all and then some. Love you for life, Johnny.
It's good dramatic reading
John.
by you.
Thank you. So she didn't respond to it because she's unfriended him and unfollowed him. And all this stuff. So who knows how she feels
That's
about
pretty
this.
sad.
Now,
He's apologizing into an empty well.
Bree does have some character issues of her own.
Yeah, number one, she married John Manziel.
That would be an issue. Two, have you heard about this cheating in a half marathon that she committed? Was found guilty of this in February. She was running a marathon aptly named "Run Like a Diva" half marathon.
Yeah.
That was the name of it?
Yeah.
Yes, in
What do you
California.
expect then? There's got to be cheating.
And she hit the 6 mile mark at a time of with a pace of 14 minutes a mile.
Which is very average. But for a
Not bad.
Instagram model,
yeah.
that's about
Well,
what
she
you'd
probably,
expect.
for somebody with stiletto heels
Right.
on, it probably
Stopping for selfies
not
every
bad.
half mile.
Running
not
with a
bad.
thong and
bad.
such. Yes,
Yeah.
of course. Yes. Now her 11-mile mark came up missing.
Missing.
Well, there was a loop in the course, as we found out.
But she managed to get it. She managed to reach the finish line at 1:58:22, along with her running partner. So in order for this to be possible, she had to run the last 6, almost 7 miles at a 4-minute clip, which is a world record pace.
Yeah, Roger Bannister just rolled over in his grave, right? Instagram model beat me. She couldn't run a 4-minute mile on a moped.
So it was clear that Gil,
got
as
busted.
you mentioned, she skipped a portion of the course.
Well, some enterprising reporter printed a map of the course and had a red circle around the area that she
Just
skipped.
skipped. So was it an accident or did she like knowingly cut?
I think
Because
she's
Instagram models are not known for their,
Yeah, there could have been pilot error.
navigation ability.
There could have been
No.
some pilot error
Yeah.
involved.
She didn't have her GPS, I'm sure. on her
Could have
phone.
been an oops or a damn it.
But-
yeah, which one was it?
Now we'll go ahead, Gil.
Unless, but still, didn't she see the many thousands? Oh, this is great. Didn't she
That
see
could be her on the
many-
phone.
Could be her on
many
the phone.
thousands
That could be her, or it could be that could be
be
the
Johnny.
nun. It could be the nun saying, "Turn down your transistor."
True.
Very
Breeze.
proud of you, Gil.
Sister, you see me and calling me Y'all are terrible.
Oh my God!
So where were we?
Well, I can
Go
tell
ahead.
you that Bree went to Instagram, which is where she always goes for
Yeah.
her daily her ADLs, as they say.
Yes.
And she called these allegations sad and pathetic, and claimed that nobody was around to check her time at the 11-mile mark.
She should have called her actions sad and pathetic, not the allegation.
Which, of course, no one's ever around at the 11-mile mark or any of the mile markers
Yeah.
to check your time.
When you cut, there's nobody there to time you, of course.
Now, to her credit or not to her credit, she has since deleted this Instagram post saying the allegations were sad and pathetic. But
What a beautiful couple. It's too bad they got divorced.
they're made
How
for
long
each
were they
other.
married?
I think they got married at 18, so less than.
Wow.
So I got them beat. How about that?
That's your life goal.
Man,
Let's celebrate, honey. We beat the man's up. We beat the John.
we beat the John and the Bree.
Oh my God, it's funny.
Sad.
All right, the second element of double drivel that will trigger Niagara Falls out of Gil is Tony Romo golfing, which I know he loves to talk about.
I love Tony Romo talk.
I didn't know this. What? Do you not like Romo? You don't like him as a broadcaster or a golfer or a human?
Yes.
Wow.
No, that's
know
not true.
that.
No, I think he's a fine guy. It's nice to see a guy like that who's been downtrodden his whole life get a
Getting
rare break,
getting
get a
opportunities,
rare opportunity,
like
to,
playing at getting a sponsor's exemption.
He's a
at
really
the-
good golfer, though. It's
Yeah,
not
I
like
realize that.
he's not shooting 107 and getting an exemption. He's like really
well,
good,
between
and
you
he's a
and me,
good,
he's good.
and he's a good broadcaster, right?
if you like him, if you like
Yeah,
that style.
I do. Well, I like to be told what's happening on the field.
I heard
Wow.
Fred Caliendo
Oh
Yes.
yeah.
I like him.
do his Tony Romo imitation.
Like over the top predicting stuff.
Yeah, it was
Yeah.
like
He's good.
He
I
was
like
great.
Caliendo.
He had the whole shtick down perfectly. No, I
didn't
wish
know
Tony
that.
well.
We're gonna
Well,
have Romo on
and-
and have Gill versus Romo.
No, I hope
Arm
he
wrestle
does
or
well.
something.
Officiated
Verbal
by
arm
the
wrestle.
nun. This is gonna be good.
Well, anyway, Tony has gotten another break this week. He's received a sponsor's exemption into
Yes.
into the.
Smart move on the tournament.
It is.
Into
It
the
is.
Byron Nel-
And in the
AT&T
Nel-
Byron
in the,
Nelson,
in the
yeah.
Nelson, which kind of irritates me a little bit because I
Well,
like,
he is a member there, right?
Trinity
he
Forest,
probably
Yeah, I'm sure he is.
probably. But considering their fields haven't been great in the
Yeah.
last 3 years.
Why does that bother you?
I just like to see a guy who actually has a chance to play on the PGA Tour, who's scraping to get along, actually get a sponsor's exemption to play to get an opportunity. It's good for the Nelson.
It's smart for them.
It's
Otherwise,
it's
we're
good
probably
for
not
the
talking
Nelson.
about the Byron Nelson.
Exactly.
If John Golf Ball would have gotten a sponsor's exemption because he's scraping a chance, you wouldn't have him in double dribble.
No, I wouldn't.
There you go.
That's
why
true.
It's a good move.
That's that's the same reaction that VJ Singh would have had. Your pal.
My pal VJ Singh, yes.
We learned
well,
about him.
Well, this will be his third one on the tour. He's missed the cut twice in the Dominican Republic, and most recently this year, I think he shot a 15 over 2 rounds this year.
That's
to miss
not
the
that
cut.
good.
It's not great. Yes, it's better than you and I.
You mean choked and when it really
Choked to the big? Well,
fumbled the snap, as it were?
I had no idea.
he'll get another chance at it too because on Monday he starts local qualifying for the U.S. Open
Right.
Oh, that's his passion.
at McKinney.
It's just his hobby. It's not his passion.
Well, it's a hobby passion.
It's a passionate
pastime.
hobby. How about that?
Yeah,
Okay.
it is. He's more passionate about it than football, probably.
No, he's not. Why are y'all on Romo? He's not the quarterback anymore. Y'all do know that, right? He's like retired. I'm still ragging on him like he threw an interception last night.
No, I actually don't. I don't hate Tony Romo, but yeah, whatever. Okay, so
We're gonna go watch him. We're gonna take a field trip to the Byron Nelson.
we should.
Okay. See you there.
So an outfit called Bet Online has
Okay.
come up with 4 prop bets on Romo's round at Romo's experience this week at the Nelson.
I can predict Gill's every wager I can predict. Go ahead.
The first one is how many shots will Tony Romo miss the cut by? The over-under is set at 11.5. I'm going to take the
Let's keep
over.
track. Ziggy, can you keep track of these bets and we'll revisit next week? I'm going to take the under. I'm going to say he misses the cut by 11 strokes or less. Gil, you got over, I'm sure.
Yeah, I'll take the over just to be the
Got it.
contrarian.
Okay, highest score on any hole. The over-under set at 7.5. I will.
Nope. Under. He knows that course. He can
Yeah,
manage.
he's
Nope, you have to
he's
take the
shot
over.
in the 60s. No, I'm not going
You
to
have to take the
now.
over because you hate.
Well,
Romo.
did he shoot in the 60s? But in a non-tournament.
Right.
Yeah, in a non-tournament.
He's not going to make an 8. He's not going to make a snowman on his home course.
I'm gonna take the over.
Do it. Double down, double dribble.
I'm gonna take the over. All right, lowest score on any hole. The over/under set at 2.5.
He'll make a 2. He'll birdie a par 3.
I'm taking the over.
Okay.
He'll birdie a par 3.
Lowest score. Now it doesn't sound to me like Gil hates Tony Romo.
He hates him, but he's respecting his talent.
don't hate
grudgingly.
him.
Did you hear it?
I don't hate him.
You
Disliked him.
You unlove him then. How about
No,
that?
I just don't slobber all over him like
You just
other
made 2
people
bets
do.
in his favor, but go ahead.
I don't play
Let's see
I
if
don't
he'll
play
slobber a
fantasy
third.
football, therefore I don't have this emotional attachment that many people
This is
do.
fantasy
Do you
golf.
follow him on Instagram?
No.
Nor I.
Me either.
He's got an Instagram account?
I don't know.
He's an Instagram model.
I
Yeah.
have no idea whether he has an Instagram.
I'm
account.
busy
His
following
dimples.
John Football's ex, though. She's hot. All
Okay.
right, go ahead.
She is. They need to do some prop bets on her. Lowest score in any round. Over/under set at 75.
No, he won't. That's over.
I'll take the over on that.
I
Okay.
will too.
We got $100 a man on each bet. Right?
Scores
Either
tend to
that
go
or
low
100
at the
pennies.
Nelson.
Yeah, they do. All right, there's some Romo for you. There's some John football for you. Next up in Wits End, a winner that didn't win. Wits End, sponsored by the good folks at McKinneyDentist.com. Go get your cavities filled by Dr. Berlin and those good folks up on El Dorado Parkway in McKinney, McKinneyDentist.com. Did you guys watch the Kentucky Derby?
Sure did.
Yep, sure did. Actually, I watched it.
I didn't
Lone
see
Star
it.
Park.
I got to admit, I didn't see
you
it
really?
live.
I did.
You went to Lone Star Park just
did.
for that? Just for
Yes.
like an event?
Yes.
I'm not a big horse racing guy, are you? Like how
I
do
like horse racing. I've
Okay.
had some experience with horse racing, but I haven't followed it like a
No,
like a
you're
real
not following.
fan.
I'm not Gary West by any
No.
stretch of the
No,
imagination.
we're not combined. We're not even
Right.
Gary.
But I mean, I know which end of the horse is supposed to be pointed
Okay,
in
I didn't
which
know we were
direction.
going to that lowest common denominator. If in that case, we're all experts.
Yeah, exactly.
All right. So Kentucky Derby was Saturday, of course. I was at a Kentucky Derby party just looking at the women in their crazy hats. But when the race occurred, it was everybody gathers around and is yelling for a horse, which why I don't really know. At Lone Star Park, you can actually bet and you're invested.
Right.
This was at the Rustic in Dallas where you're just drinking and people are
Right.
like screaming. I'm like, what? Do you own part of the horse? I mean, they were so passionate about it.
Did y'all have any type of pool or pot or anything?
No,
no.
it was just
There was no interest at
It
all.
was just have a crazy hat contest and let's get drunk in the sun. That was it. So here's the end of the race, the Kentucky Derby, and it was Maximum Security, I guess, is the horse in the pink. And I don't know enough to see anything that went wrong here. To me, it's just a horse running in the mud, and at the time, the announcers on NBC didn't say, watch out, there could have been a bump or something. They was just like, he's winning going away, and he's our Derby winner, right? Did you guys think anything at this point?
No.
Did Lone Star Park, was there an uproar like, well, hold on a minute, there's could be something?
Only after they showed that there was an objection.
An objection, right.
Yeah.
I don't even remember ever seeing an objection in the Kentucky Derby, do you? Or a Triple Crown
No,
race?
an inquiry
No.
sign, no.
I don't believe so.
But it happens, and
It doesn't happen, not in the Kentucky Derby.
no, not in the Kentucky.
No,
Derby.
that's what I'm saying. So here's
Well, why should the rules be any different?
what are the rules? Let's look at the video of what we think might have happened, and let's talk about what are the rules. This was like a video of
Okay,
coming
this
out
is
of
when
this
it
turn.
happens. This
Yes.
is when it happens.
Yes.
And watch the horse right behind the pink horse right behind him.
What?
That by veering in front of him, it made the second pink horse have to cut to the right, and it could have been a bunch of horses gone down right there.
But they didn't.
Good-
How is that not good?
you gotta go.
How's that not good
You gotta
driving?
ride a straight line.
What, on a horse? Well, how is that a rule?
Well, it looked to me.
Sure,
it
it's a rule.
looked to me that they brushed. When was that NBC covering the race?
Yeah.
When they brought back the very slow motion.
Yeah.
It looked like they brushed, which would apparently disqualify the.
No,
I
they-
just
horses-
can't believe that's even a
Horses
rule.
trade paint
Yeah.
all the time, but but you have to run a straight line, and when you don't, and you cause the horses behind you to have to veer from trouble.
Doesn't it have to be intentional though. I mean, horses
No.
are not going to run in a straight
No.
line. They're horses.
No,
You think
Well,
the jockey's
that's why
like,
they have-
let's veer out and cut people
No,
off?
he
That's
doesn't.
why that's why he's the rider. That's why
Okay,
he's
here's
up
my
there.
last thing
I
on
think.
this.
Yeah.
There's been 147 of these.
Right.
That's never happened before. You got to be kidding me. A horse has never not run a straight line coming down the stretch of the Kentucky Derby. That just seems crazy.
Well, I think it might have
It's
happened
never-
before. The
then
difference.
why-
The
then
difference. The
why did
difference
this guy
is
get
the
DQ'd?
difference is replay and our ability to review and replay.
I think maybe the wet track, the sloppy track might have had something to do with it. There was still a lot of horses at that part of the of the race. Any number of
I
things.
just can't-
But I've seen I've been to the track and seen disqualifications before.
Yeah.
And it doesn't cause this national furor.
So I had a conspiracy theory. It got blown out of the water today. I'll tell you why. I thought maybe the Kentucky Derby was like, let's DQ this horse. We'll make it worth your while, but it'll get us, because we wouldn't be talking about this if Maximum Security had won that race and was just
Right.
a clean race. It's good for the sport this happened. What if they just said, let's make this into a big deal? And I thought that was my conspiracy. But then Country House, the horse that won by DQ, today pulled out of the Preakness because the trainer says the horse has a cough. Which I'm not laughing because I've had a cough and you have a cough. But really? Number one, do horses have coughs?
Yeah, maybe he needs a little vodka.
So neither of the horses.
Right, so
involved
neither one of them are
in the
running. So
Preakness.
there goes my
running.
conspiracy that they would want a Triple Crown winner with, but no, he's out. All right, so there's some Kentucky Derby for you. How about some hockey distractions for you? So again, we're not hockey guys, right?
That's true.
But we'll get to the girl who was at the Stars game the other night. This, I think these guys, and maybe even the women, they know they're going to be on TV. Mm-hmm. So, honey, wink, wink, nudge, nudge. Put on your A outfit and let's go to the hockey game. This is from St. Louis in the playoffs this year. Oh. Look at these fans. I mean, is that an accident?
Oh no!
No, of course not.
I mean, didn't the husband or the wife say, "I'm going to put on my black lacy bra and hope it gets some airtime"? It's on purpose, right?
Sure.
That's in St. Louis. You can see the little yellow ad.
Do you think there's any way we can get a hold of one of those for tonight?
One of what?
One of those young ladies. And
I thought you thought they were.
And get a PressBox DFW.
That's a genius idea. A PressBox DFW shirt.
That isn't a bad idea.
First of all, do we have shirts?
we have shirts.
We do?
I'm wearing one.
I don't think that's good. We're going to put a stick. Maybe we can get this, have her hold up my laptop.
Yeah, that'll work.
Yeah, that's in St. Louis. So I went to the, I mean, that's boobs on the glass. There's no other way around.
Bigger than his head.
Yeah, bigger than his head.
I mean, how do you get tickets like that? That's what I'm wondering.
You wear that kind of shirt. That's how.
Somebody's giving them tickets.
So this is in St. Louis. That was the first round. So I went to the game the other night. I went to the game in the first round against the Predators and sat right behind the bench and froze my butt off. It was so, because you're down by the ice. And I, neophyte, like showed up in short sleeve. And the whole time I was like, where's my jacket? Well, at the game 6 on Sunday, this girl wore this outfit right behind the glass. I mean, look at that sort of shirt.
Oh, geez.
I mean, is there any way that's an accident that she wore that?
Well, I was watching the game and I saw this. And,
of course you did. That's all they talked about. Screw game 6. It was game 2 we're worried about.
The first thing I'm saying is NBC's not going to let this continue because, you know, all throughout America, you got mothers or fathers covering their kids' eyes and stuff like that.
Good for the game, though. I mean, we're talking about it.
Yeah, I mean, it's good for the
We've
NHL.
already showed the girls in St. Louis. Tonight, we will be looking for that yellow parking sign and whatever shows up behind it.
It's hard enough to follow the puck. It's not hard enough. It's not hard to follow that.
Very easy to follow.
I wonder who's pulling this scam, though, that keeps getting these girls right behind the bench like that. It's got to be some kind of...
I think there's a team employee who says, who's our most talented season ticket holder, and there's our
it beats a rainbow wig and John 3:16.
Amen.
That's true.
That. All right, next up on PressBox DFW Live, time to round the bases. Let's head for home. Walk off, where we take a question emailed to us on our social media, or maybe at Gil's email. I posted the picture of that girl at the Stars game and got a million comments on Facebook. But also I got a question that said, you guys have been to a lot of events. What's the craziest thing you've ever witnessed at a sporting event? So other than Boob Girl, what's the craziest thing? And this was something I wasn't at, but you remember this for sure. I was at a bachelor party in 1993 watching Riddick Bowe and Evander Holyfield when Fan Man flew into the ring. Still the craziest thing I've ever seen. Did people remember that, do you think?
Oh, yeah.
A guy parachuted into the ring during a heavyweight boxing match.
Do remember that.
That one, and then we talked about the Super Bowl in Houston where Janet Jackson, speaking of boobs, and totally missed it. But what we did see, what TV didn't see, was, I don't remember when it happened, but a male streaker ran onto the field and took the ball off the tee before a kickoff.
I wrote about that.
And nobody even stopped him.
I wrote about that
you
guy.
Did? You remember that? Like, it wasn't on TV.
No, I did not remember it.
It wasn't on TV. But I was in the building that night looking at that going, what? Somebody's going to tackle him. He just took the ball, started running, and finally they got him. But that's the thing off the top of my head, the craziest distractions I've ever seen at an event.
Yeah, I don't believe I ever was at a game where Morgana the Kissing Bandit ever appeared.
Remember Morgana? Yeah.
But I certainly do remember.
Sure. Kiss Nolan Ryan. when he
Oh
was on the
yeah,
mound.
exactly. I'm trying to think if I was there for that, but I don't think I was. I would have remembered that.
You got anything off the top of your
I
head?
got
Crazy
nothing off the top of
distraction?
my head.
You got anything out of your transistor radio ear that you can remember? All right, there's PressBox DFW, DFW.com. What's on the site this week that's worth reading, other than everything?
We'll definitely read my story. With
Absolutely.
the
Read your 100 things to do
places.
before you die. Yeah.
You know, it's still time to read your story about the Stars, but mostly it's about Game 7s.
Yep. How hard
of
they are to
local
win.
teams.
Yep.
And but PressBoxDFW.com. We're growing each week. Thanks for visiting the site and reading our stuff. And please tell everybody about it. Tell everybody about the podcast.
Absolutely.
Podcast is really growing.
It's growing, and so is our site. Oh, we've got to mention real quick, John, what did you bring in? This is a hockey stick from just a game.
Oh, yeah.
7?
That's a 2-iron, right?
It's actually
Looks like,
not.
yeah.
This is our next door neighbors. When I was growing up, had season tickets to the 4 Texans game.
Wow.
Right by the penalty box, and they would take us from time to time. And one of those games, I was probably 10 years old, 10, 11. The guy who oversees the penalty box reaches up and says, "Hey, you want this? This is a broken stick." I'm like, "Yeah, sure." So this is a Fort Worth Texans Central Hockey League.
That's very cool.
Hockey.
Thought that was old
stick.
Tom Morris's putter from St. Andrews.
Could have been.
And
Could have been
then
also.
we've had Sister Gill call in today. Also, we've been visited by, who's this? That is not Dwight D. Eisenhower. Who's that?
As George Herbert Walker Bush, President number 41.
I can't wait. Did you
Gift from somebody.
Did you do a video tour of your house?
No, I've got to do that.
You
I've
have
got
to
to
do that.
That's a homework
These guys
assignment.
Are in your, these
That's a
guys hang out in your house.
It's a homework assignment I'm going to take seriously this week.
All right. There's a thank
the
you
first
to,
of my life.
Thank you to George H.
John's
Bush.
got bust of presidents in his house, and I have,
Well, I
an
got-
array of bobbleheads.
Got some of those too.
And all I bring is bust on the glass of a hockey game.
There you go.
Yeah, you win.
All right, PressBox DFW Live for Richie Witt. For Richie Witt. I'm Richie Witt for John Henry and Gil Leberton. We'll see you in the PressBox DFW.